Bring the lights down low, time to start the show. Lights, camera, you know what we mean. Behold the magic of the silver screen. Some movies rock, some movies shock. They're powerful or odd. We cover them all on your favorite pod. They're dramatic, funny, sometimes scary. That's not weird, that's extraordinary. I got the need and I've got a fever. So play me a little dream weaver. Life moves pretty fast. Some will fizzle and some movies last. I understood there would be no last. It's the 30-something movie podcast. Be excellent to each other. Peace out and word to your mother. They're from the best decades. Movie magic that never fades. Lightsabers clash, phaser set to stun. Action-packed from dusk till dawn. We have deep thoughts and questions 3. Come share our love of the movies we see. Life moves pretty fast. Some will fizzle and some movies last. I understood there would be no last. It's the 30-something movie podcast.
That's right. It's 30-something movie podcast. It is time. I feel like I should have started playing the Bulls intro theme for this episode.
Yeah.
I should have started
that
with
would have been pretty cool.
And now, 3'6" from Toontown, Bugs Bunny. Could have done that whole thing, but missed opportunity. But it is Space Jam. And so we are here still smack dab in the middle of 4Kids Month. So Space Jam is the one that we're going to be talking about this time around. So I have, in order to battle the Monstars from Moron Mountain, I have brought a couple of fellow Maroons here with me to help show off our athletic skills and defeat the Monstars. First of all, I've got a Bo Warmbold. Bo, how are you doing?
I am well, John. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. I practiced dribbling, but then after dinner I cleaned myself up and I was okay.
That's good. I'm glad you thought about the bib this time.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's always helpful. Patrick, how are you doing?
Doing well, John. Doing well. Happy to talk about some Looney Tunes, talk about some 90s era Bulls. It's going to be fun.
And we've got the audio people can't see it, but we have a special guest that's occasionally curious enough to join us on the camera here.
Yep.
Doodle the cat is there with you?
Doodle the cat is here with me, checking things out, keeping tabs. As I've learned, and as all the cat lovers know, he's just cruising around his house, making sure that, the humans aren't messing things up too badly.
Sure. Yeah,
he's left the room and he's sitting right outside the room, either standing guard for me or standing guard on me. I'm not sure which one it is.
Yeah, I also have to often have a companion down here in the podcasting studio at Shea Reed, but he tends to be asleep. And I'm looking off in the side of the room over here in his little dog bed. And yes, he is sleeping on top of his toy octopus. Squishy is the octopus's name. And yeah, Toby's here, but he's sleeping. So that's usually par for the course. So I don't know that we're ever going to see Toby on camera. He's a little camera shy.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. You got a podcast companion.
Yeah. I did, when I was moving some things around, I did actually build him a little bed that's right down here by my feet. I even put like a little blanket down, and there's a spot for him to go if he wants to. He chooses not to.
He's never even looked at.
Now that I put the effort in. Now, he has gone down there a couple times, but for the most part, I think he's like, no, you're too noisy.
Yeah, over here is less chance of you kicking me when you laugh really hard.
I'm trying to sleep here, and you're talking.
Yeah, you talk too much.
Right. So our movie this time around is Space Jam. And as we talk through movies, we spoil. So if you hear a movie title and you don't want to hear too much about it, just go ahead and skip ahead a couple times, and we should have moved past it. If you have not, visit our website, 30podcast.com. There you can leave a rating, a voicemail. You could become a co-executive producer on Patreon over there. And we got a lot of bonus content available on Patreon, both in a little free feed with our Patreon shorts and some of the paid access ones too. But that just helps us keep the lights on here, keep things running, and just gives us the opportunity to talk movies and have fun with you and with each other and just enjoy this stuff that we do. So thank you so much to all those people.
Yes.
I did want to mention real quick. Now, this episode, when we're recording this episode, this is going to come out probably a couple of weeks after I'm saying all this. But I did want to mention, we got a really nice shout out. I don't know if you guys have listened to the latest Surely You Can't Be Serious podcast.
I have not.
Okay.
I am remiss that I'm behind. Let's give them a little promo. What are they? What's their latest episode? They're doing like video games.
Well, so they have been doing video games, but they just put out an episode where Jeff Johnson from a Film By podcast is interviewing Dee and Jason. It's like a behind the scenes on how they make the Shirley podcast.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So like what they do each week, like how they come up with their ideas, how they came up with the idea to start the show in the first place, and you know what it's like to interact with all the people that they interact with, and all that stuff. And we got a really nice shout out because they were talking through like how they got started, and they said, well, we had these guys in Chicago that we know on the 30-something podcast, and they really kind of helped us through our first steps and kind of inspired us to get started. And so just really nice shout out from those guys on their show. It was a fun episode to listen to too. And
right on.
That's very cool.
We love the Shirley guys.
Yes, we do.
The other thing I heard on that episode, which I'm excited about, and we've been texting about this afternoon, is there is a possibility that there could be an in-person Shirley Podcast 30 podcast mashup meetup happening this spring or summer.
Oh, wow. That would be fantastic.
They are bandying about the idea of a John Hughes tour of Chicago to come up to Chicago, check some stuff out, get some pizza, maybe go to a Cubs game.
Well, then.
Okay.
So I told them we know where the best Italian beef places are.
We do know those things.
So, and then a little fight broke out in the text thread of all the people when they name dropped one pizza place, and somebody else responded and said, that's garbage. Here's the one you should go to. And
yeah, there's some strong opinions there.
There are.
Wowza.
What I'm of the opinion of is, Pat, I'm going to steal and paraphrase yours.
Yeah.
More pizza, more better.
Yeah,
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part about living here is we don't have to think about that. We're just like,
right.
We want pizza. What kind of pizza do you want tonight?
Would you say we have a plethora of options, Bo?
I would. I would indeed.
I want to say there's even like a pizza tour where you get on like the hop off trolley thing or bus.
I don't doubt it.
And it takes you to different pizza places.
That's outstanding. A pizzeria crawl?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love everything you just said.
Yes.
I want to find out where this is. I want to go.
Yeah, I think so.
That's outstanding. What would you like to do now? Where would you like to eat next? That should be the paraphrase.
Everywhere, John. Everywhere.
That should be the paraphrase. That's extraordinary. Where would you like to eat next? That is the combination Star Trek pizzeria crawl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm loving everything about this. So
did we just make the next themed restaurant?
I think we did.
Because there is, so we should go sometime. The problem is it's so close to a lot of other good food that I'm not sure we'll ever get to this place.
Okay.
In Forest Park. So here's the problem, is it's real too close to Johnny's Beef.
Oh, yeah.
And it's too close to Alpine Sandwich Shop. And it's too close to a barbecue place whose name I'm forgetting right now. It's super good. But there is a sandwich shop in Forest Park on Roosevelt. No, they lived on Roosevelt. No, they lived on Des Plaines, so it's on Roosevelt. And it is literally called Starship sandwiches or Starship Deli or something.
Oh.
I kid you not. Everything is Star Trek themed, like the sandwich names. They've got they've got action figures and memorabilia and all sorts of nonsense.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
But it's like literally, as I just mentioned, the third best sandwich shop you can go to in town.
Yeah.
So I've only been there a couple times.
Starship sandwiches.
Because I didn't even mention Subtender, which has the best Parmesan garlic fries you will ever have.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at this now.
Okay, it's funny. I was just going to say, I've only been there a couple times, and my sister-in-law lives there, so I don't even know if they have a website.
I don't know if there's a website. Oh, no, there is. Starship. And this is in, let's see, since 1977. It is in Forest Park, Illinois. Yeah. It looks good.
That's the one.
It looks good. I'm trying to see if there's pictures of the inside, because you were saying it's...
Yeah, I wonder, they're probably... Well, wait, here's one. Oh, no, that doesn't show any of the stuff. I wonder if they're afraid to,
maybe afraid to post it up on the...
Yeah, because you might get a takedown. But if you look at...
I'm going to go to Yelp.
What's this? This is their... You just Google it, and how Google in the overview has pictures?
Oh, I'm looking on Yelp right now. They've got a mirror with the Starship Enterprise in it. They've got...
Yeah, you can see even the font of the name in neon above the counter looks a little Trekky. Oh, yeah, there's the Enterprise mirror.
Yep.
It's not but some of the sandwiches have fun names to them and stuff.
Mm-hmm. There's a fun sketch painting of Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah.
Over the condiment table.
Yeah, that's her. Gosh, it's been a while.
All right, that looks fun.
It is. But again, it is so hard because
there's so many other really good places.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. Okay, you'll all get a kick out of this one. The DeForest pork sandwich.
Oh, yes.
Nice. The Starfleet sandwich. Nothing crazy, just they even go sort of episode title format of vegetation creation,
Mm-hmm.
They had a little fun with it for sure.
I want to see something that's called the best of both curds.
See, that would be really good.
Yeah.
I don't know that they have that one.
Given the opportunity, I feel like we could come up with a really good themed restaurant.
And then they lean into the Starship name. They have a Jefferson Starship.
Nice.
They just, they're making decent sandwiches and having a little fun while they do it,
And isn't that most of Chicago?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's why the place spoke to me on some level.
Oh, that's cool. Well, speaking of Chicago, we've got a pretty large Chicago connection to our movie tonight because this is the feature film, actually the feature film debut of the Looney Tunes, but this is also, I believe this is the feature film, or at the very least, star of the feature film debut for one Mr. Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if this was made before or after the IMAX Jordan documentary, and my first two Google searches failed. I'm going to see if I can get a date on this. Because what year are we in now?
96.
This was first.
Yeah, if it's Jordan to the Max, then that was 2000.
Yeah, this was first.
Yeah. I remember seeing that too, yeah.
It was so good on IMAX because they took advantage of the resolution.
Oh, yeah.
You can find a version of it on Daily Motion or something.
Mm-hmm.
I showed it to Donna once. It's still cool, but it's not the same as when you saw it huge on an IMAX screen.
Yeah.
I might have to try it on my new TV.
Oh, that would be good.
Not quite IMAX, but still.
It's pretty close. Pretty close. All right. Well, our movie this time around is Space Jam. So this one came out on November 15th, 1996, rated PG, 1 hour, 28 minutes, directed by Joe Pytka, who also did Let It Ride and The Legend of Bagger Vance. Writers for this one were Leo Benvenuti, Steve Rudnick, Timothy Harris, Herschel Weingrod. Through the combination of those people, they did Kicking and Screaming, The Santa Claus, Trading Places, and Twins. Producer was Ivan Reitman. He also produced Ghostbusters and Kindergarten Cop. Composer was James Newton Howard, who did The Fugitive and The Sixth Sense. Cinematographer was Michael Chapman, who did Raging Bull and The Fugitive. Editor was Sheldon Kahn, who did Out of Africa and Ghostbusters. Warner Brothers Feature Animation was the production company. $80 million was the budget, and about $250 million was the box office, $250.2 million. So it did all right. Flickmetrics gives it a 66%. Cinema Score gives it an A-. The list of characters and actors in this one are just a lot of fun. Michael Jordan plays himself. He was also in Michael Jordan to the Max, as we mentioned. Wayne Knight is Stan Podolak. He is in Jurassic Park and Basic Instinct. Teresa Randall is Juanita Jordan. She is in Bad Boys and Beverly Hills Cop 3. Bill Murray is himself, who's in Groundhog Day and Ghostbusters. Larry Bird is himself. Charles Barkley is himself. Patrick Ewing, himself. Bugsy Bogues, himself. Sean Bradley, himself. Larry Johnson, himself. Billy West plays the voice of Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd. He was in Futurama and The Ren and Stimpy Show. D. Bradley Baker as Daffy Duck and the Tasmanian Devil. Fans of Star Wars The Clone Wars will recognize his voice as, I think, all the clones and Yoda and, I don't know, pretty much everybody in the Clone Wars. Kath Soucie was Lola Bunny. She was in Rugrats and Space Jam: A New Legacy. Danny DeVito was Mr. Swackhammer. He was in Batman Returns and Matilda. Bill Farmer was Foghorn Leghorn. And Sylvester, he was in Who Framed Roger Rabbit and A Goofy Movie. June Foray, who passed in 2017, was Granny. She was in The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Frank Welker was Charles the Dog. He was in Scooby-Doo and Where Are You? Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And Transformers. And Maurice LaMarche was Pepe Le Pew. He was in Pinky and the Brain and Futurama. So the fun thing about this one is there was a series, I don't know if you guys remember these or not, there was a series of commercials, Nike commercials, in which Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny were kind of like teaming up or squaring off with each other against Marvin the Martian and some of his like alien henchmen in basketball situations to try to stop him from stealing Nike shoes. And so kind of from this idea, they're like, yeah, what if we made a movie about this? And they did, and it was Space Jam. Do you guys remember those commercials at all?
Do I remember what?
The commercials.
For Space Jam?
No,
not for Space Jam. The Nike commercials.
Bugs and Jordan. I just don't remember the Marvin the Martian bit.
Okay. I vaguely remember them. A little bit. Like, I'd have to pull it up on YouTube just to see it, but I vaguely remember some of those ads.
This is the Michael Jordan Bugs Bunny ads?
Yeah.
Yeah, not a whole lot, to be honest.
Yeah. There was a little bit of a controversy between Disney and Warner Brothers in this movie because back in the late 80s, when they were making Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Disney Studios asked Warner Brothers if they could use some of the Looney Tunes characters for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Warner Brothers said, sure, and they were under the belief that they would reciprocate at some point. But then by the time they got around to making this movie, Disney was under new management. And when Warner started to work on this film, they went to Disney and they said, hey, remember when we did that for Who Framed Roger Rabbit and we let you use some of our characters? We would like to use some Disney characters in this movie, kind of like make it a little bit like a spiritual successor to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Mickey Mouse actually was going to be the referee at the game. Instead of Marvin the Martian being the referee, it was going to be Mickey Mouse. And the Disney,
but the mouse don't play.
The mouse apparently don't play basketball. So Disney went back on the agreement, and that annoyed some of the Warner Brothers friends. And so they had a few not so subtle little digs that they put in this movie. Yeah. One in particular I thought was always kind of funny. Daffy suggests naming the team the Ducks, and Bugs says, "What kind of Mickey Mouse organization would name their team the Ducks?" Yeah.
Yes, I love that one.
So good.
Yeah. And there were a couple of others, I think, here and there, just kind of hidden throughout the movie here and there, just kind of a little backhanded stuff against the mouse. This apparently was the highest grossing basketball movie of all time until a few decades later. There was another one, I forget what it was called, but it was 2022. It came out that made a little bit more than this one. R. Kelly's song, I Believe I Can Fly, was a huge hit. I remember that thing getting played everywhere when this movie came out. We already said it's the first feature-length movie starring the Looney Tunes characters, and then Billy West stepped in as Bugs Bunny, and this was a pretty big deal because Mel Blanc had passed away in 1989, and so these were the first, I believe, the first post-Mel Blanc Looney Tunes voices. They originally, I believe, were going to give this to, was it his son? There was another Blanc that was supposed to take over the voicing of this, and I think that he and Warner Brothers could not come to an agreement. They couldn't reach a deal for that, and so they decided, okay, then we'll just go with somebody else. So that is how Billy West got to step in and get that gig. All right, we'll give you a quick voiceover introduction to this one, quick synopsis for it. We'll do our 10 major moments. If you haven't seen the movie or haven't seen it in a while, that should get you up to speed, and then we'll dive into some deeper thoughts. In a world where a basketball legend hangs up his sneakers, one wisecracking wabbit, let's say it that way. In fact, let's just do the whole thing as Elmer Fudd. Forget the Don LaFontaine. Let's do this as Elmer Fudd. In a world where a basketball legend hangs up his sneakers, one wisecracking wabbit hangs up a help wanted sign. When the Monstars invade, Michael Jordan, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Woa Bunny team up for the wildest game ever played. Aliens, Acme gags, one stretchy, gravity-defying slam dunk. It's kind of hard to do after a while. This time, it's not just a game. It's a hair-raising contest to decide the fate of the Looney Tunes. We try because we care.
When the world's greatest athlete, Michael Jordan, teams up with the world's best-loved cartoon character, Bugs Bunny, you won't believe your eyes.
Pardon me, Mr. Jordan. Could I have your John haircut?
What's going on here?
We need your help!
You heard of the Dream Team? Well, we're the Mean Team. Ready?
Yeah!
Doc.
Yeah.
You kick it in here. You go to the hole and dominate. We on defense.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. I don't play defense.
Warner Brothers presents Jordan, Bugs Bunny.
Special delivery!
Together, they just might save the world. Space Jam. You've never seen anything like it.
Mwah!
All right, our major moments for this one. We open with a young Michael Jordan in 1973, shooting some hoops, telling his father, James, he's going to the NBA someday. He's going to play at North Carolina, then he's going to the NBA. It's a very heartfelt beginning, and it grounds the movie in kind of an emotional state before getting things fully loony. And then for those who know the whole story, they didn't really dive into it very much in this movie. They don't go into a whole lot of background, but we're going to fast forward then. After his father's death, then Jordan retires from basketball to go chase a baseball dream. The world is pretty well stunned, and we are already in that strange mid-90s sports Kelvin timeline where Michael Jordan is playing a different sport other than basketball. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pause for just a moment. Seeing as how we all lived in and around this area at that time, and I had just moved here maybe about a year or two before all this happened, I remember that feeling like a very strange time. That Michael Jordan, like the king of basketball, was stepping away from it. And it seemed like he was still very much in his prime, stepping away from basketball to go play baseball. And I kind of felt like, I just moved here. I didn't get a chance to go see too many Bulls games with you playing yet. And now you're going to go play baseball.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yep.
But it was.
Yeah.
It was kind of a very strange time.
Well, and I think you just look at how any of that with pro athletes and all that. I mean, that was still, well, and I think we probably still do that. But I mean, that was even before you have all the social media access and all the nonsense that's out there now. So you know what these guys are thinking, you know, and it was just, it was a very weird time, and they had just done the three-peat, right? And his oh my gosh, his father had been murdered, and then suddenly, you know what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden, it was like he's done with basketball.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, I'm not going to pretend to get inside his head, but I know when Simone Biles came out of the Olympics a number of years back, was it 2 summer games ago, or was it the last summer games or something? And she just like, I have to pull from this. Like, I'm just not mentally there. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, boy, you think how far we came, but then how far we maybe haven't. You see some similarities with all that. And yeah, it's just, I think the guy just needed a break, right? Wasn't that kind of what it was? Yeah. Not that it's any of my business, right? Like, isn't that funny? Like, he's an incredible athlete, and then somehow as fans we think, well, we have some kind of ownership, so we get to say, what's up with that? Well, why does he get to do it? He gets to do it if he wants to do it, right? Like, I mean,
yeah,
kind of just a funny deal.
Yeah, it was, from what I recall, it was in 1993. This is kind of the story behind James Jordan's death, Michael's father. 1993, he was driving home to North Carolina after going to a funeral, and he was tired, so he pulled over on the side of the highway. He was going to take a nap in his luxury car that he had, I think a gift that Michael had given him. And 2 teenagers spotted the luxury car and decided that they were going to take this car, rob whoever's in it, whatever. He was shot once in the chest, I believe, while he was sleeping. And then they ended up finding his body later on. And there was all kinds of confusion about who he actually was. He didn't have any ID on him. And so there was, all kinds of stuff related to that. And then they found later on, weeks later, they ended up finding the Lexus, and it was kind of completely stripped, and some stuff had been taken. And I believe there was even they had taken his cell phone, and there was a video of one of the kids, wearing a ring that was Michael Jordan's or something like that. I don't remember what the whole thing was, but there was a bunch of different pieces. It took weeks, I think, to figure out the whole thing. And then, at that point, that was kind of Michael Jordan's father was kind of his best friend. And so he kind of I think it was October of 93 that he ended up deciding, I'm retiring from the NBA. My father always wanted me to play baseball, so I'm gonna give this a try. We're gonna see, if we're gonna see if I don't want to have gone through life and never have tried this to see if it's something I could do. Yeah. So, and then I think it was, if I'm remembering this right, he won the 96 championship on Father's Day. Wasn't it Father's Day? That was the irony of it being winning the championship. Yeah. It was, yeah. And I remember some scenes of him just on the locker room floor, just sobbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, weird and crazy and very tragic story.
Yes. And understandable where, this is my job, and I'm sure he loves the game, but this is my job. And yeah. So just interesting how we responded. And like you said, just an incredibly tragic story.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
So back out in space, we have the theme park boss of Moron Mountain, boss Swackhammer. Mr. Swackhammer needs some new attractions because they're not what they used to be. The Nerdlucks discover the Looney Tunes and decide that kidnapping cartoon icons is a solid business strategy, so they're going to do that. Bugs Bunny outsmarts the tiny aliens into settling things with a basketball game. That is classic Bugs Bunny, so if you can't run, if you can't win, you hustle your opponent. The Nerdlucks steal the skills of NBA players and stars like Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, and then they transform themselves into the towering Monstars. And suddenly this is no longer a gimmick. It is a massacre waiting to happen for the Looney Tunes. While golfing with Bill Murray and Larry Bird, Jordan gets literally sucked into Toon World through the hole. Reluctant at first, he eventually agrees to lead the Toon Squad. Bugs ends up grabbing some secret stuff to boost morale while the NBA kind of spirals into chaos over its talentless stars. Meanwhile, Stan Podolak stumbles into Toon World because, of course, why not? He's half of a cartoon himself. The Monstars dominate the first half of the game. At halftime, the Toons learn the truth about the stolen powers, and confidence becomes their real weapon. Jordan raises the stakes. If they lose, he becomes a moron mountain attraction forever. The Monstars are going to play dirty, and they injure nearly everybody. And then finally, down by 1 with seconds left, Jordan uses full cartoon physics, arms stretching across the court for that game-winning dunk. And the Monstars lose, the talents are restored, and Jordan rediscovers his love for the NBA. And our final scene, we see him back at the United Center, wearing number 45 jersey, back as a Chicago Bull.
Yeah, and even the plot, that when this movie came out, it was kind of like, the fictionalized, this is what Jordan was doing for the last 2 years, know.
He wasn't playing baseball, he was hanging out with Bugs Bunny.
Right. But I mean, like that, then that was right, because he came back with that 45, right?
Yep.
I mean, there are worse things to do with 2 years than hang out with Bugs Bunny.
That's true. Hey, do you guys remember when Bugs Bunny would dress up as a girl bunny? And
I knew you were going to say it.
No.
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 No. Makes me feel kind of funny. All right.
Funny.
It's time for some deeper thoughts before we go too far into Wayne's World.
And now, Deep Thoughts.
I have an opinion on this matter.
Don't mince words, Bones. What do you really think?
I like it a lot.
Wow. It's very deep. Thank you.
When was the first time you stepped onto the Space Jam court? When was the first time you saw this one?
A day ago, I think.
Really? You had not seen it before?
Yeah, I had some attempts, but I think this was the first successful watch through.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So let me ask you this. I'm trying to think if your kids are about the right age, but I'm not sure that they are. When Space Jam, what was the second one called? The New Legacy or the something?
Yeah.
Space Jam 2 Electric Boogaloo. You didn't see that one first, did you?
No, I did not.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. I haven't seen it, but I just kind of when I heard that one was coming out and I saw just some of the previews and other stuff, I was like, no, I don't think so. No, I don't know that Space Jam needs a sequel.
Just going to take a little pass on that.
I think so. Okay, all right. So, thankfully you saw this one first. Okay. But what about you? When was the first time you saw this one?
When it came out on home video rental, probably.
Okay.
We definitely saw it at the time, though.
I was always a big Looney Tunes fan and a big Michael Jordan fan, and so not only did I see this when it came out in theaters, I somehow saw this 3 times when it came out in theaters.
All right, there you go.
I saw this once. I think it was once by myself. Once I took Sharon and one of my siblings. And why would I have seen this a third time? That's a good question. I don't know. I remember seeing it 3 times in the theater, though. Maybe I enjoyed it so much I just went back and saw it again one more time.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's probably what it is. No, I remember, I thought this was hilarious. I thought this kind of 15-year-old John, this filled me with the same kind of joy that Who Framed Roger Rabbit had given to 8-year-old John. So this was kind of this was, for me, this was almost kind of how as the Harry Potter books went on, you kind of grew up with the books and the books became, more complex and more advanced as you got older and as you progressed through them. That's kind of how I felt, not that Who Framed Roger Rabbit is, there's still plenty of stuff in there that's not childish or not, necessarily for kids, but I felt like I got what I was interested in at the time had morphed into, so I get a Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but now it's about basketball and has Michael Jordan in it. Yes, please. I'll have some of that. That sounds fun. because at the time, having just moved to Chicago, I really enjoyed watching as many Bulls games on TV as possible. And that was during that weird time where it was like, okay, but now Jordan's not playing, so what do we do now? He's not going to be on those games. But by the time we got to 96, he was back and they were in another championship season and all that. So I think this movie kind of came out at just the perfect time for him to come back to win another championship. I remember the merchandise just being crazy for this thing. It was all over the place.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think a lot of this. I mean, I remember like all the cameos and the characters just from, I mean, and I'm probably more on the whole like bandwagon thing, but it just, that was what you did in Chicago at that time, man. Everybody would just watch the Bulls, and it was like, if they win 3, you're going to expect them to win 3 more.
Yeah.
And now I'm sure people still watch the Bulls. I'm not saying that they don't, but yeah, like just all those names. And then it's interesting. I don't remember very much of the merchandising, but then I might have just been that few years older to where, okay, I'm going to be either in or heading to college. I don't have money to check all these things out. Right. So like the merchandising and all that. So it's interesting just thinking about when this movie came out and how it fit into the whole cultural deal at the time. Right.
And it's funny because I remember there being a bunch of like, toys and T-shirts and all kinds of other stuff that you could get. Again, I think I was just to the point where I'm like, you know what? I enjoy the movie, but I'm 15 years old. I don't need toy stuff. I don't need this other stuff.
Right.
But the funny thing is I was in Target the other day, and they have a ton of stuff that they've put out on these displays for the Space Jam 30th anniversary. They have like games and toys and Toon Squad jerseys and all kinds of other stuff, like I think little action figures and other stuff. So Target is going all in on the Space Jam 30th anniversary. So I just noticed that the other day. So if anybody feels like they missed out in 1996, I think I'm okay. I'm happy with the things I have. Target has got you. There's a little free advertising for Target there. But yeah, I saw that the other day. I was like, this is a lot of Space Jam stuff. And I wonder, like, how many kids. My hope is if you're a kid living here in Chicago and you've seen Space Jam, you saw the first Space Jam.
Right.
So my hope is that kids will see some of that stuff and be like, oh, yeah, that's the Space Jam movie. And not, wait a minute, that's a different guy that was in the Space Jam I saw in 2021.
There is always that fear, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I think for me, like this movie hit for me all the stuff that I was going to find funny and was going to pique my interest. The moment that you have, what was it? Was it Yosemite Sam and was it Elmer? I forget which two it was. But they shoot out somebody's teeth, and it's all of a sudden it turns around and they're standing there looking like Pulp Fiction.
Right.
And I was like, oh, it's Pulp Fiction in a Looney Tunes cartoon. That's outstanding.
Jeez.
As 15-year-old John was very interested in that.
Yeah,
understandably so.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is funny, and that's very adult. That doesn't fit with Looney Tunes. I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for this one was, like I said, I saw it several times in the theater, and it seemed like a lot of fun. It's now Michael Jordan, not the greatest actor in the world. He can be funny, but I think more as like the straight man, because if you've ever seen when he was on Saturday Night Live was it the late 80s or early 90s, there was a time he hosted Saturday Night Live, and you can tell that he's not necessarily there to be the comedian. He's there to be the straight man
because he's famous.
Right. He's there because he's famous, and he's the straight man to just play up against, you got the, was it Stuart Smalley? Now, Michael, yeah. I know that sometimes it can be really hard to dribble the basketball, and sometimes you might miss your goals, and that's okay. And Michael, I want you to look in the mirror, and I want you to tell yourself, it's okay if you miss some of the basketball shots, and you're good enough, and you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you.
Yeah, that's right.
There was that one. Who was that one? He was on with the super fans. He was on with the Bears super fans. In fact, I think he ended up wearing a hula skirt in that sketch.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I mean, he was not the funny one. He was the one that was up against, he would play up against the funny people. And I think that's why it worked out okay for him to be in this movie and to work with the Looney Tunes, because most of it is just him reacting to the wacky stuff that Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and all those guys are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which is totally fine. I think it works. What about the other guest stars in this one? So you have just some random people that drop in from time to time. I have to say, I think my favorite one is Bill Murray.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and he is so funny in this. I don't do defense.
Right. We're on defense right now. Oh,
no, wow.
No, I don't play defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's the way I would be. That this entire time he's like, "Do you think I have a shot in the NBA? Do I got a shot? I think I got a shot. I mean, put me in. I think I can do this." And then the minute the game is over, Michael's like, "That was really impressive. You might actually have a shot in the NBA." He's like, "Michael, I think that's great. I think I'm just going to retire at the top of my game right now. In fact, I would love to go hang out with you. I really need to go ice my knees, like right now."
Right.
But thanks for the offer. I think I'm good. I feel like that's how I would do something. Like I would be all in. I'm like, totally. I can totally do this. My body will not fail me in any way. And then it will spectacularly fail me.
Yes.
But it would be spectacular in its failure.
I think it would be. I think it would be spectacular.
And that's what you got to remember, is it would be spectacular.
Yeah. But yeah, I like Bill Murray, and just kind of I think Bill Murray's a natural also to play up against some of the Looney Tunes characters.
Yeah, I think he was really cool. It was interesting, all the different forces they put together in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I mean, Bill Murray and Michael Jordan, and it seemed to, make sense when it came out. Not that I saw it, but now I think back on it, and it's like, that's a really interesting kind of pairing. I mean, it brings a lot of different dimensions into the movie.
Yeah. And then fun to see some of the other basketball players. You got Charles Barkley, you got Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
Larry Bird. Larry Bird, I mean, that was just kind of funny in and of itself. It's like Larry Bird and Bill Murray are almost like doing their own little Statler and Waldorf thing off to the side.
And you could see that happening with those guys on the golf course, right? Like,
yes.
And Jordan was notorious for making bets while he was playing.
Oh, yeah.
So that whole thing about him closest to the pin, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like, that's a thing.
And Larry Bird was notorious for trash talking, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is it because I'm white? Well, no. Larry's white. No, Larry's clear.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. We can't pass up talking about this movie and not talk about the soundtrack. Because that was another part of this movie that just, I mean, the soundtrack is one of those that's kind of like, it's better than it has any right to be. It's like, wait a minute. This is a Looney Tunes movie. And you've got the I Believe I Can Fly by R. Kelly, which was a huge hit. You have the Fly Like an Eagle that was performed by Seal. Love that version of that song. And then a ton of other stuff. I don't know if you guys I don't know if you looked at the soundtrack at all, or if you happen to catch, there is a bit of a Star Trek connection in the soundtrack here.
Yeah, what is that?
The Star Trek connection is there are two songs, For You I Will and I Turn to You, written by Diane Warren.
Oh, I did not notice that.
Diane Warren, also the writer of Faith of the Heart.
Yes.
For you Star Trek Enterprise fans. I wanted to make sure I included that. I knew that my introduction was a bit of a long road.
Mm-hmm.
But
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go.
Getting from there to here. Yeah. But I had faith. Faith of the Heart, that I could pull it off.
Faith of the Heart.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of good stuff. The classic, anytime you have a sports movie or sports adjacent movie in the 90s, you have to have Pump Up the Jam by Technotronic.
Right.
Knowing that my favorite little 3-second scene of the Pulp Fiction, knowing that the Mr. Lou was going to be played by Dick Dale in his Deltones.
Yep, that was very fun. Well, coming back and watching it 30 years on, having not watched it the first time, it just seems very much of its time, right? Like, the Bulls were super famous. And I mean, obviously, having lived inside that, right, like that dynasty, in my mind, it was like, yeah, everybody wants them to win every year, right? Like, but I don't know. What was it like outside of Illinois or outside of Chicago? I mean, were there people like, is someone going to finally take down the Bulls? I mean, just all the characters that they had on that team were such personalities, right? And then, I mean, they all kind of, well, like I said, they were all personalities that everyone followed. But then every team seemed to kind of have, everyone knew Patrick Ewing, everyone knew Charles Barkley, like it was just, and maybe when I say unique, maybe it's just because I was the only one following it. Or I'm sorry, no, that came out wrong. I was only following it at that time, and I don't watch basketball as much anymore. So maybe that's how it is now. But I just feel like, especially when the Bulls were just going through that dynasty thing, that stretched over what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I remember I was in, the middle school when they started winning. And I mean, that whole Bulls thing, you'd follow that middle school, high school, college. I remember it was like, are the Bulls going to keep, what's going on with the Bulls? And so, I mean, you put that in a movie, bringing the Looney Tunes component in, then you bring the Bill Murray component in, you bring the music in. It just was very, very much of its time.
Yeah. Well, it is. This is like if you time capsuled a bunch of 90s stuff, this is it. Like, it is, you have kind of these event movies that we got a lot of in the 90s. I mean, it's basically the fact that it came from a Nike commercial and just kind of, I don't know. The 90s feel like sometimes you have this like superstar branding that everybody is all about, especially with the athletes, especially with somebody like Michael Jordan, and he wasn't just a basketball player. He was in commercials. He was basically his own business. And it is like this movie and the stuff that came with it, the merchandising and all of that is pure 90s commercial everything. The sports, the sneakers, the cartoons, everything is merged into one giant commercial. And not to belittle the movie by calling it a giant 88-minute ad, but it kind of is a little bit. It's got some fun, the technology of being able to blend the live action with the 2D stuff. Kind of like I said, kind of like a little bit of a spiritual successor to a Who Framed Roger Rabbit, so that all worked really well. The soundtrack mentioned, it's like a 90s R&B. It's like a combination of, let's do 90s R&B and jock jams. And basically that's what this soundtrack is going to be.
Right.
And it was totally. And then you had, then just all the cameos, all the celebrities, the cameos. I mean, this was kind of, I think the best way to sum it up is this was a 90s event movie where you pulled in as much as you possibly could. Like, as Hammond would say, they spared no expense. They got everybody they could get for this movie, and boom, here you go. Here's Space Jam.
Right.
Yeah, it does have the. I always watch it and always think it has a little bit of a fever dream feel to it.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, somebody said, I think I've told you guys about this before. Have you seen the Key and Peele skit where it's the writer's room and they're talking about Gremlins 2? Haven't? Oh, I got to show you guys that one at one point then. So it's a Key and Peele skit. It's supposed to be the writer's room for Gremlins 2, and they bring in like a script doctor. And he's like, he comes in and he's like, hey, so we've done Gremlins. That's great. But now we're going to kind of like, we want to step things up a bit for Gremlins 2. So no idea is a bad idea. Let's just start spitballing stuff. What do you guys think? What do you think? And somebody's like, what if we had a Gremlin made out of vegetables? And he's like, Gremlin made out of vegetables, like all googly eyed and like tomatoes growing out of his face. You got it. That's in the movie. And then the head writer is like, whoa, wait a minute. I thought we were just brainstorming ideas. He's like, nope, it's in the movie. And then somebody's like, what if we had one that was made out of electricity? And then they just keep it. What if we had like a sexy gremlin and they're like, yep, all right, that's in the movie. So that whole skit, that kind of feels like maybe what the writer's room did when they sat down for Space Jam. They were like, okay, I love basketball. I would like to see in a movie, I'd like to personally meet the following athletes. So let's see if we can get them in this movie. Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. Magic Johnson's not available, maybe? Okay, well then let's go to the next. Shaquille O'Neal? Sure, we'll get Shaquille O'Neal in this movie. So yeah, it does feel a little bit fever dreamish that there was just like it almost felt like they pulled some 16-year-old and they're like, what would you like to see in a movie?
Right.
Why don't you just tell me who you'd like to see in this movie?
Exactly.
No. It is a lot of fun stuff. And even, I think it ages just fine because it was fun to watch now. Like, it didn't seem 30 years old. You know,
it just, really didn't.
No.
Like, there was nothing with the exception of, Jordan. There wasn't all that much dating it from a...
Right.
Technology, animation, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see what kids now, what they would think about it.
Yeah.
Right? Are we holding on and saying, hey, because like nostalgia, or would kids today that, are fans of basketball and all that, would they watch it and be like, yeah, this is pretty fun?
It's been a few years. My kids saw it a few years ago and I remember they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it was probably 20-ish years old when they saw it.
Okay.
So yeah, no, I think it still, especially if you're from Chicago, if you know who Michael Jordan is, I think it's got a bit of a timeless quality to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that whole idea of, well, if you've heard of the legend of Michael Jordan, he defeated everyone on Earth basically. So now he has to go to space and defeat the aliens in space because there was no one left for him to beat.
Right.
Jordan looked out upon his empire and wept, for there was no one left for him to conquer.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
All right. Do we have any more thoughts about Space Jam before we dive into the hole on the 18th green and go to 3-question town?
Through the weird Warner Brothers membrane-y thing.
Weird portal dealio, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking back, and I wanted to add something else in. I just think, and maybe we've already said this and gone over, but I feel like basketball was almost in a golden age then, right? Oh. Just where even casual fans were a big fan of it.
I think so.
And I would count myself as a casual fan, right? Like, I like watching it, have respect for everybody that plays it. Like, I'll occasionally play a pickup game of basketball with friends, but I just will not play very well. And I would be so fair weather if I was just like, yeah, I'm a big Bulls fan. Like, I just, that's laying all my cards on the table. But I just feel like back then, even casual fans, it was. And I mean, if you were like a gamer, like NBA Jam, I just remember playing that game all the time.
He's on fire.
Yeah, all that stuff. And just all the zaniness that you could do with that game.
From
downtown. I really wasn't even that much of a gamer. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you could program like different celebrities into the game, or unlock them, I should say. I just feel like it was just a perfect storm in terms of, how popular basketball was back then.
Yeah. I feel like it was.
Not
I feel
to say
like
it wasn't now. I'm not saying it's not popular now.
Well, there are superstars. There are superstars now, but when I look back at it, I mean, I haven't really followed NBA basketball. I follow college basketball a bit, but I haven't really followed NBA basketball since Jordan left the Bulls. I watched a few games here and there when he was with the Washington Wizards, but not like when he was with the Bulls. That was the last time I think I've watched from start to finish an entire NBA game, was when he played for the Bulls. That was the very last time. Yeah, and I'm not saying there aren't superstars today, because there absolutely are, but I don't know. There's just, and maybe it's just because we grew up in that era, but something just feels a little different about when I think of, being a kid and having the posters up in my room of, and I lived in Dallas, so I had Dallas Mavericks posters in my room too, but I also had posters and pictures up of Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, like all of these, what seemed to be these like larger than life superstars back then. And even as I grew up, and even today, if I look back on basketball, that's when I picture, if you said basketball superstar, name 3 of them, those are the 3 I'm naming. I'm naming Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, because growing up, like that was my assumption. This is the pantheon of the NBA basketball gods, basically.
Yeah. Well, and it really was that, I can't remember exactly when it came out, but there was that Olympic Dream Team thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, that was, and I mean, did they bend the rules? Whatever, but whatever, they went to the Olympics, right? And I mean, just watching those guys play, and you just realize the level at which they played.
When you absolutely positively must destroy every last country in the world at a particular sport, you bring in the dream team.
Oh my gosh, I know. And then, and I'm sure you guys have read it, but there's that article about the greatest game that no one's ever seen. And it was when the dream team did a scrimmage. Oh my God, like read about that. That's incredible. And you just see, just individuals that are just doing something on a level that you can't even, or I can't even like comprehend. And like you said, it was just larger than life. And there were just so many of those names. You mentioned 3, but like you just go down the list of all those different players, and it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I am not comparing eras and saying, well, this player could be against this player and this player. No, not at all. And nothing but respect for anybody that gets to that professional level.
Right. Because
they can play at that level.
I mean, that's just stupid to compare, because Jordan would destroy anybody.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, I think of watching those old Dream Team games in the Olympics, and I'm like, at the time, I didn't know what blood pressure numbers would look like, but I feel like that's kind of what it is.
Right.
Well, in some ways, 180/60 is really bad. But in the Olympics Dream Team game, that's just fine.
Yep.
We're just beating up on some smaller nation.
Yeah.
All right. It is time for 3 questions.
He asks each traveler 5 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions.
It's impossible to answer.
Impossible because you don't know the answer.
Nobody could answer that question.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
All right. Question number 1. Which Looney Tunes character most accurately represents your personality?
Marvin the Martian.
That's a good one. Yes,
Yes. He's all over the place. He just pulls his ray gun out whenever he feels like I'm in. I'm in.
I will destroy you with my vapor ray.
Yes.
You got to be careful with Marvin. He turns into a little bit of a Kermit.
He can, yes, if you're not careful.
It's not easy being a Martian.
No, it is not.
That's a good one. Marvin the Martian's a good one. Patrick, what Looney Tune are you?
Might be Speedy Gonzales.
That's a good one. I can picture that.
I like to move. I like to keep going. Can't run as fast as he, but I think that seems he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. I think I was trying to, I mean, I probably put way too much thought into this. Part of me was thinking Wile E. Coyote. Like, I have a lot of plans. I have a lot of thoughts. There's a lot of stuff going on in my head. It's just that the universe rarely cooperates with my vision. And that kind of, and every once in a while, you know, you get an anvil dropped on your head or you get a little frustrated with stuff. I was kind of leaning towards that, but then I realized, you know what I really am is I think I'm a Porky Pig. I think Porky is like, Porky's kind of in the background. You know, he's a nice person. Oftentimes he seems to be the voice of reason in a room full of wacky, crazy, loony, dare we say it, people. Gets a little.
We dare.
We dare. Gets a little flustered sometimes with people, but you know he's the one that's gonna, you know, just get his work done and you know get stuff done. So I think that might be my Porky Pig might be my my personality.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Question number 2. The movie is essentially a giant commercial. What is a piece of movie merchandise you owned as a kid that you wish you still had?
Movie merchandise. I had some toy phaser type guns that I have no idea what happened to them, and I sort of wish I still had those. I'd love to take a shelf in the basement here and just line up all my phasers, you know?
Yeah.
While I do have a lot of my old Star Wars toys, there are quite a few Star Wars toys that I do not have because they, against my will, they were sold in garage sales as we moved from place to place. So I would love to have, at one point, I had 2 Rancors. I had
oh boy,
Jabba the Hutt. I had the Ewok Village. I had an X-Wing, a TIE Fighter. I had all kinds of stuff. And that did not, survive the march of the years. So I would love to be able to have some of that stuff back. Along with my He-Man and my G.I. Joe and my, other stuff.
Sure.
Now that I have.
Yeah, how great would that He-Man be to have now? New movie coming out.
We had a box of He-Man stuff because I don't really have any of my old He-Man stuff. That all got sold at some point. But we had when the kids were little, and we had some friends who didn't have kids yet, but their mom had kept all their He-Man stuff in a big Tupperware container, a big plastic bin. They loaned it to us while our kids were little. And so they got we had the Castle Grayskull, which I don't think I ever had myself as a kid. The Castle Grayskull was in there, He-Man, Cringer, all the characters. And so, and then they had kids a little bit later. So okay, well, reluctantly I'll give it back, but it's not mine, but all right. Okay, if I have to. By the power of Grayskull, I have the power to take this and run.
I have the power to keep this for me and only me.
Yeah. Patrick, what about you?
This is a hard one. I don't know. I mean, I had the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. Love those Star Wars toys. I was always fascinated with the big, mech robot type things. And we had, a Voltron that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And Voltron was a show, but it was also a movie. So maybe it counts for this question. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'd let you do a TV show too.
Yeah, so that's hard. The movie, the memorabilia, You
know what other toys I had that I absolutely loved that I still wish I at least had some of was I had a ton of Ninja Turtle toys.
Yeah, those were pretty awesome.
I had a lot of those.
This one's a stumper, John.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go to question 3. If you think of anything for question 2, we can circle back here.
If I got to get an answer in, I'd say the Millennium Falcon.
Okay. All right. Question 3 is, what is your version of Michael's secret stuff? Was there a drink or a snack that made you feel invincible? I am invincible as a kid.
Mountain Dew.
There you go.
That's mostly due to the adrenaline rush that came along with whatever chemicals were in the Mountain Dew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's always Gatorade,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, this is another great question, changing things up. As a kid, what that made me feel like a invincible. I don't know about that. I mean, ate a lot of corn on the cob and sweet corn, but I don't know if I would go as far as saying it made me feel invincible.
Mm-hmm. Did it make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, Pat?
Yeah, warm and fuzzy. Yeah,
you're warm, and we know you're warm and fuzzy on the outside. Did it make you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside?
Did I turn that warm and fuzziness inside? Yeah, I suppose you could say that.
Okay, all right. I would say mine was probably Captain Crunch.
Oh yeah,
because
the captain.
I have some fond memories, and I will still do that even today. I have some fond memories of my grandfather loved Captain Crunch, and he did something that I thought was extremely unique, and come to find out, it's really not. He would put his Captain Crunch so that he could drink the milk when he was done with it. He would put his Captain Crunch in a cup. Like he'd have these big plastic cups, like these 20, 32-ounce cups, whatever, that he'd gotten from somewhere. And he would put his Captain Crunch in there with his milk in there. And then with a spoon, he'd eat the cereal out of the cup. And then when he's all done, he'd just drink the milk out of the cup.
He had a whole system.
I was like, that's a
he really did.
It's a pretty clever system.
Yeah.
So
Cups are probably easier to wash than bowls. Like, I feel like this guy,
he knew what he was doing.
He knew his
great
stuff.
plan.
Mm-hmm.
Great
Happy
plan.
to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
These people didn't survive wars for no reason.
That's true.
They knew what they were doing. There's a reason they call them the greatest generation.
Yeah.
Because they had wonderful ideas. So even today, I'll grab a little Captain Crunch from the store every now and then.
See Captain Crunch being an invincible food.
Now, the one that probably hyped me up with so much sugar that I felt I was invincible was we had a drink, and I don't know that I've seen this drink, so I don't know if it was just a Texas thing. Was there a drink that existed that I guarantee it was probably like 102% pure diabetes?
Yeah.
Was there a drink that they had up here as well that was called Big Red?
Yes.
Okay.
We did have Big Red.
Okay. I remember for some reason Big Red was readily available in our house.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one that just popped in when you said Big Red was Jolt.
Oh, Jolt. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am invincible.
Uh-huh.
Little golden eye callback there for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Wilford Brimley, and I'm invincible.
And I got the diabetes.
And I got the diabetes.
Because I drank too much Jolt Cola and Big Red.
As a kid, I would pour myself a cup of Captain Crunch and then wash it down with a Big Red. And now I hawk diabetes testing supplies on public access TV.
And didn't he do oatmeal too?
I think he did.
Like Quaker Oats?
Yeah,
or
I think he did Quaker Oats, or he at least looked like the Quaker Oats guy or something. Yeah.
Yeah, well, then that's it, right? This could be a total Mandela effect. The Quaker Oats guy might be somebody else.
No, I think he did. I think he did the Quaker Oats.
Yeah.
The oats and the diabetes.
It's quite a combination. You got to get your fiber, and you got to...
It's a heck of a combination. Yeah. Oh.
That's extraordinary. What would you like to advertise next?
You're right. That's extraordinary. What would you like to ingest next? Yeah.
Oh God.
All right. Well, I think we might have scoured the edges of the galaxy for our three questions, and I think we've figured out all that we can figure out about what character we are, what merchandise we wish we still had, and what is
merchandising.
Our merchandising. What is our own secret stuff that makes us feel invincible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got thinking about the merchandising.
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Metal, like replica, like fighter planes by Ertl.
Oh yeah.
Those things were great, and they weren't necessarily like from a movie, but like Iron Eagle, you get the F-16, Top Gun, you get the F-14. Like, so I mean, boy, those things were detailed.
Yeah,
they were metal, heavy duty toys. I remember my buddy painted one of the bombs on the bomb rack on the F-16 he had red, so it looked like the Hades bomb from Iron Eagle.
Nice.
So
wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was.
I think question 2 is the reason why, and sometimes I'm sure I will 3D print useful things with it too, but question 2 is the reason why I'm so glad that I have a 3D printer, because I tend to use it to print myself like movie props.
Sure.
And prop replicas, which is why I have like General Kale's mask from Willow, and I have the Holy Grail from Monty Python. And actually, earlier tonight, I'm going to go off mic for about a hot, 3 seconds and see if I can pull this out of the printer, because it just finished printing.
I mean, you guys saw what I got for my birthday from my brother. That still blows me away.
Yeah. That was pretty awesome.
I am in the process of 3D printing a series of items that I'm going to share with some of the other folks. Mainly, I'm finding it's the male teachers in the part of the building that I work in that that were interested in these particular items. And so I promised I would 3D print some so that everybody could have some, not just me. And that we would cause...
Yes, have some.
Yeah, and that we would cause just, general mischief in the hallways as the kids are going about doing their thing.
I like general mischief.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of my
favorite generals
positions in the military. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've 3D printed some for myself, and there was another batch that I 3D printed this afternoon. It takes a few hours to get them done. I have now 3D printed 2 halves of a coconut to use to gallop down the hallways of the school.
I love everything about this.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Now you just need to find yourself a patsy.
Well, Jeff works in my hallway, so.
Oh, well done.
There we go.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Problem solved. Good idea, Mr. Reed. Of course it's a good idea.
Of course it's a good idea.
What does God need with a quest?
He grips it by the husk.
It's not a question of where he grips it. Yeah.
I wonder what that movie looks like in 77 inches.
Ooh. I feel like there's a trip to your house in our future, Bo.
We're gonna have to set up a viewing party or something. It's something else, man. I tell you, watching the Olympics on it has been nice.
Moly.
I feel like you put that movie on a 77-inch screen and it turns into Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You have to say it differently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I will. Funny story. So
it's what we traffic in here.
Early in the morning, you have the TV on, you have the news on in the background as you're getting ready. You're not quite awake necessarily. Like you walk by something that large when your brain isn't quite all there and you're like right up next to it because you're crossing in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
It can startle you awake.
Because there's a life-size reflection in it?
Yeah, it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I never really. Yeah, it's bigger than it probably should be, but I'm not complaining.
Mm-mm. It is the literal Black Mirror of the TV show.
Right?
All right. Well, gents, I think that's going to do it. I think we have conquered Moron Mountain. I think the universe is safe for at least a week or two. But yeah, so if anybody else wants to find our other episodes, head over to our website, 30podcast.com. You can find all the other stuff we got going over there. This month is our 4 Kids month. And so far this month, we have done our Patreon episode was The Long Kiss Goodnight. Definitely not for kids, but a lot of fun. I am, at some point before the month is over, I'm going to do a quick little Patreon short on the Peaches album from the Presidents of the United States of America from 1996, which coincides with our discussion on James and the Giant Peach, which is part of our main feed over there. And then Space Jam was this week. Next week will be The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And then we'll finish it off with Matilda. And then, so this was 4 Kids month. If you want to look ahead and watch some movies to help get ready for the next month after this, the next month after this is called Definitely Not 4 Kids month. And our movies this month, this next month in April, will be Bound, Sleepers, The People vs. Larry Flint, and Lone Star. And then if you want to join us over on the Patreon, our Patreon episode will be the Razzies of 1996, which will include Striptease, Barbed Wire, Ed, and The Stupids. And if you're paying attention, another Razzie that was up for Worst Picture that year was also The Island of Dr. Moreau, but we're going to be covering that one during Horror Month in October, so we'll have to wait to hear about the freaks and geeks that show up in The Island of Dr. Moreau for another few months. But it will be fun. It will be good stuff.
Yes.
As always, thank you, Patrick, and thank you, Bo, for being here.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
It is always a good time to talk movies whenever we have a chance to.
Indeed.
Yes.
All right.
And this was a really fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not a movie that I'm going to probably go back and rewatch on my own, but I'm glad we did.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, maybe 20 years from now, we'll do the 50th anniversary. We'll pull it back out.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll do. Yes. We'll do by the time, if we're still going, by that time, we'll do our 50th anniversary rewatches. Like, what's the stuff we covered before that's now older than dirt like we are?
Mm-hmm.
That is a frightening concept.
A little bit. All right. Everybody, be excellent to each other. Go watch some good movies. And we will see you back here next time.
Phaser set to stun. Action packed from dusk till dawn. We have